regulars, they know already the spiel. Good evening, Shabbat Shalom. Much better. Welcome everybody, and I'm so pleased to see many familiar and new faces here, and I'm sure there are also friends on Zoom, and it's really great to see you all, and welcome everyone for our Shabbat service. We are going to start on page 128 with Hine Ma Tov. And those beautiful words are from Psalm 133, and it says, "How good and how pleasant it is that brothers and sisters dwell together." And I really think that, I hope that you share my feeling that this is what the synagogue is about, being together, being brothers and sisters, and being able to worship and to have the service together. Tonight I asked Anna Pawanski to light candles for us. We are on page 120, and you're more than welcome to come and light the candles with us.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivonu lechad lekner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We are on page 126. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English, no Hebrew, no semantics and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, and my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created, and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us, and to bring that vision to life. We are on page 130 with Lechu Neranena. we continue with different Psalms. We are on page 135 with Psalm 99, Romamu. I speak a lot during my services, during sermons, about this feeling of Shabbat. And I'm sure that for many of us, it might differ from one person to another. For me personally, during the service, this moment when I feel the Shabbat is coming into the synagogue is on page 138 with the famous Lecha Dodi.
Ishmi'anu il hamiuchad, Adonai echad.
it's really part of me really wants to say my usual sentence, please turn around and say hello to the person that sits near you and introduce yourself. But I learned from my mistakes. I gave a finger, and this congregation eats the whole arm. Because then I have really struggled to put back everyone, in order to ask you to be quiet in order to continue the service. Therefore, that's why we always have oneg, and today it's a special oneg with special cupcakes as we celebrate birthdays. And this is when I advise that everyone will come and do the welcoming and the chatting and introducing each other. So I had to make this like a small speech about this because I love doing it, but then you guys don't stop talking. We are on page 144 as we finish one part of evening service, and we continue with another part of this Aravit. We are with Chatzi Kaddish. Please rise. Hitkadal vehitkadash shme Rabba, ve'alma tivrach yuteh v'yamlich malchuteh, b'chayeichon yom echon, u'b'chayei lechol beit Yisrael, b'gala b'zman kariv ve'imru. Amen. Yehi shme Rabba mevorach, le'olam olamei almaya, yitbarach, yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar, v'yitaleh v'yithalal, shmei l'kudsha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran b'alma v'imru. Amen. And we continue on page 146. Praise Adonai, to whom praise is due forever. Praised be Adonai, to whom praise is due, now and forever. Please be seated. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bedvaro ma'ariv aravim, bechokma poteach sha'arim, ובתבונה משנה עתים, ומחליף את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים, ומשמורותיהם ברקיע כרצונו. On page 149 in English, please join me. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day into night, as heaven spans to infinity. You set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, ma'ariv aravim. On page 152, the part where some synagogues, the minhag, the custom of the place is to stand, and some synagogues it's to sit. We stand here, but please do as your heart desires. We're on page 152 with the Shema. Shema. את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות ילדיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני Elohechem. Please be seated. On page 159, please join me in English. Sing the song of man and woman, joined in understanding and respect. The song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to live no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. And for quite some time we did not sing Mi Kamocha, so I thought that the new year, some old songs, please join us on page 158. On page 163, we are people to whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment, enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. We are with Shamru on page 162. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you. The book of Exodus, Shemot in Hebrew, begins with listing of names. And while Genesis, Bereshit, begins the Jewish journey following one family, we talk right now about the narrative begins to be about a people emerging into being. And this week portion continues 375 years after the end of the text that we read in Genesis. And it's funny, Eva was thinking about the life cycle events and baby namings and how it all goes together with this portion, because names play very important part and very important role in Jewish life. And there are many names that we are unknown by today. We have English names, we have Hebrew names. Once I was sitting trying to explain to a friend that how complicated it is to be Russian, because you need also to say the name of your father together with your name. Then there are nicknames, and etc., etc. Some of us may have names that we chose to take later ourselves in our own life. Some of us have Yiddish names, some of us have Jewish names, in addition to English names. You understand, I can go forever and ever. We're Jewish. It always needs to be a little bit more complicated. So the Talmud teaches that each of us is known by many names. And those we have been given and those that we have chosen. So in Eastern Europe, the Jewish practice is that children are often named for deceased relatives as an honor. It's quite interesting because in Sephardic tradition in the Middle East Jewish community, children are often named in honor of those relatives that are still alive. And you can find the beauty in both traditions. And we learn in Midrash Tanhuma that a person is known by different names. A person has a name given him by his parents. Then there are names that people will call him through life. And then, of course, there are names that he himself acquired according to his accomplishments in this world. Most of us do not regard ourselves as extraordinary people. Some of us. I know a few. So you probably think of yourself as a fairly ordinary person with a fairly mundane life. But from God's perspective, and someone said that I am almost messenger of God, so I will take on myself that status as almost messenger of God. I will say that this is perfect. You are the perfect person with whom God can do extraordinary things. Because God does not look for prophets. God is looking for normal people who are carrying on under normal, and I will add, under very difficult circumstances in life. And there is a story that very famous rabbi in Sochachov explained. When a baby cries, the cry is for itself. Maybe the baby's hungry, maybe he's thirsty, perhaps he's uncomfortable, maybe he's in pain or cold. And at a later time, then the child develops the powers of empathy, through which the child's cry can be for the suffering or pain of others. Pharaoh's daughter had noticed something quite extraordinary about baby Moses. His cry was of a na'ar, a youngster, a teenager. He had so much to fear and to be uncomfortable about, but he was in tune with the suffering of his people at that time. And then, therefore, she immediately knew that this must be one of the Hebrew children, because she was aware that this was a hallmark of the Jewish nation, the capacity always to feel the suffering of others. Later on, Moses became a shepherd, and he cared for every single one of his sheep. And at older age, he had emerged from the palace of Pharaoh to seek his brethren, where he saw a fellow Hebrew being struck by Egyptian taskmaster. He was just about to be killed, but Moses saved his life. And when he went to a well site in Midian, he stood up for the rights and privileges of people that were absolutely strangers, the 7 daughters of Jethro. Moses was somebody who empathized with others, who was there for their sake, who was willing to put his hat above the parapet in order to serve the needs of people that were around him. So it is here that the Torah presents to us the makings of a truly great leader, people who care about those around them. And this is a type of person that Moses was, from the earliest time of his infancy until he became a great leader of his time. And a true leader is not somebody who is constantly concerned about his or her own power, but rather somebody who is genuinely concerned about others. And that is why they are in the position of leadership, to care for those around them. And as we begin this 2024, my wish for all of us on this Shabbat is that we will step outside of our comfort zone, and we will be able to follow our liturgy, our text that says we have to roll up our sleeves and to do the work that we were taught by, and to do it in our lives. Because our text is so clear. We all need to defend the poor, the orphan, the widow, to ensure fairness and justice for all of us, may it be a stranger or a citizen alike. We need to feed the hungry, clothe the naked, answer the need with open hand and an open heart, not because of some hope of reward that might come in the next world, in next life, but because we are commanded to do so, not just once, but again and again and again. And why? Because we are created in Tselem Elohim, in the image of God. Because God tells us again and again to be holy, because I am holy. And may this year will bring us all those feelings, all those wishes that God teaches us to have. But most importantly, may we all be blessed with health and happiness, and may our loved ones always be able to share happy and sad moments with us. Shabbat Shalom. We are on page 164. Would you please rise for Amidah? Adonai, Sefata tiftach ufi, yagi tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ahel Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. On page 168. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה כל הטרף להושיע, מחלחל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני אהבה. מי כמוך בגבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה הכל. On page 170. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. On page 173, please join me in English. Disturb us, Adonai, ruffle us from our complacency. Make us dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quieted with arises from a shining of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness, and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans. Shock us, Adonai. Deny to us the false Shabbat, which gives us the delusions of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred. Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet and sad pointness rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesterdays. Make us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border of living, and the walls of your temples are not shelters from the winds of truth, justice, and reality. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. On page 175, please let's read the second paragraph in English. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still clear voice with us. Therefore, God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha beriah na'avod. And we are continuing silently and privately until page 180. And when you're done with the prayer, please be seated. ויהיו לי רצון אמרי פי, וגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני צורי וגואלי. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. Please be seated. We're on the bottom of page 180 with Oseh Shalom. Amen. May the one who makes peace in the high heavens make peace for us, for all Israel, and all who inhabit the earth. And let us say, Amen. We bless the soldiers of the Israel Defense Forces, men and women, who are protecting Israeli society and the values of freedom, equality, and justice. May they succeed in all they set out to do on land, at sea, and in the sky, within the country and outside its borders. And may they return from battle crowned with victory. May they return to their homes unharmed in body and healthy in soul, innocent of vain slaughter and with hearts untrained by malicious intention. May the verse be fulfilled for all military forces throughout the world. They will beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, and they will not longer study war. And I will grant shalom to the land, and let us say, Amen. We are on page 371, and tonight we would like to offer a prayer of healing to all our loved ones. May it be a healing of nefesh, a healing of soul, healing of body, and if there are names that you would like to mention, please do so. Yes? Thank you. Thank you. And any names on Zoom, perhaps? Thank you. משברך אבותינו ובתינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, שרה רבקה רחל ולאה, הוא יברך את כל החולים. הקדוש ברוך הוא ימלא רחמים עליהם, להחלמתם, לרפאותם, להחזקם, וישלח להם מהירה רפואה שלמה מן השמיים, רפואת הנפש ורפואת הגוף, אשתא בהגיע לו בזמן קריב, ונאמר אמן. should I do the sermon again? This is always the time where I do the sermon. I'm so happy that someone actually smiles and somebody got the joke. We're on page 586 with Aleinu, Andy, and Eva. Would you please open an ark for us, and would you please rise? Now stay. 586. And it has been said, Adonai will be sovereign over all the earth. On that day, Adonai will be one, and God's name will be one. Thank you. Would you please close the ark? Please be seated. And just before we thinking about all our loved ones, we always know that the beauty of life is that there are happy moments, there are moments of sorrow, and they always go hand by hand. Life, birthdays, then deaths, happy moments, sad moments, tears of happiness, tears of joy, and tears of sorrows. And we are blessed also to be able, as we begin the new month, as we begin the new year, to celebrate all those who are born during month of January. For example, Jennifer is actually having her birthday today. Mazel Tov, which is really great because not always we are blessed to have people on the specific day of the service. So we are very happy to have you with us tonight. And this month, if you will open the page of your program tonight, you will see that today is also Jacob Silverman's birthday, Daniel Rom on January 7th, Sherry Levine on 8th of January, Chase, January 8th, Jackie Silverberg on January 9th, Maria Prosterman on 10th, Richard Silver on 10th. Looks like it goes in twice this time. Everyone has two people having the same date, which is beautiful. Penny on January 14th, Nathan Rosenberg on 16th, Dr. Stu Vector on 20th, and David Goldberg on 25th, and Adam Ackerman on January 31st. Anyone that I missed their birthday? That's great. The 10th was a very, very popular day. Congratulations. And my wish, as I mentioned earlier, is that most importantly that we will all be healthy and all the blessings will come with that. And may we always be able to celebrate birthdays together. And the most importantly is that may you always feel God's presence within you. So lots of Mazel Tov. We are on page 598. As I said, life is always goes in duality of occasions. And tonight, unfortunately, a few minutes before the service, I spoke with Dorothy, and this is really unfortunate situation when someone who was on the list of Refuah Shlema, I have to move them, and to unfortunately they become part of the recent deaths of our community. Kim Clark passed away from cancer this morning, and our hearts go to her family. And we are thinking of the yortsides of our members and their loved ones. If there are any other names that you would like to mention, then please do so. Thank you.
I saw the name of Eric Pedersen in January. He's an old person who brought me here for the first time 7 years ago.
Special, thank you. Anyone on Zoom? We remember Sarah Baker, Selma Brett Spice, Haim Donnan, John Finnemore, George Klein, Mark Klein, Gwendolyn Newman, Nine Peretz, Elijah Pelberg, Lynn Rosenthal, Jos Rosansky, Frank Steiner, Jake Wenberger, Charles Young, David Zenkoff, and high members and their loved ones, Bella Bas Abraham Zelig, Abraham Ast, Harriet Ashkenaz, Stanley Bengal, Joseph Burnett, Robert Bain, Rosal Betterman, Sam Ben Lulu, Walter Berman, Susan Byrne, Ross Bodinger, Benjamin Bolga, Barney Charter, Marion Cohen, Mike Connor, Lena Eisenberg, Evelyn Feller, Regina Figwhite, Jennifer Foreman, Bernie Fredkin, Fanny Fussman, Sidney Fuller, Bertram Fullman, Beverly Gaines, Ala Gertner, Frank Gezi, Carol Gitlis, Gus Goldstein, Nathan Greenberg, Stanley Gruberg, Mary Hack, Sadie Horan, Dorothy Hogum, Esther Jaffe, Joseph Kahn, Judith Kaplan, Julius Kaplan, Lillian Carroll, Al Katz, Morris Kraft, Moshe Leffer, Dr. Bennett Levine, Edith Levine, Paula Lefland, Frederick Lipton, Simon Lubel, Rebecca Mazel, Molly Metz, Samuel Nettis, Marcy Newman, Barbara Rosen, Leroy Rosenbaum, Zelda Rosenbluth, Gwen Rosso, Lou Schleif, Ruth Schimmel, Ray Schindler, Helen Shane, Endel Sherman, Maurice Sherman, Rodolph Slotnick, Adif Summer, Charlie Tartak, Annie Thorpe, Jack Topkin, Sarah Tunovsky, Isaac Weinberg, Charles Weiss, James Wilder, Harold Wolf, Elsie Waltz, and Beatrice Yermanuk. And of course, we remember all those who do not have anyone to say Kaddish for them, those who were murdered in Holocaust and genocide all over the world, and those who lost their lives in the last 3 months of the war between Israel and Hamas. May their memories always be for a blessing. Would you please rise? יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה. בעלמא דברה חיותה וימליך מלכותה, בחייכון וביומכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהיה שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם עולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה ברכו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במומיו ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במומיו ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ואמרו אמן. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel and all around the world, and let us say amen. Please be seated. Would you like to say a few words?
Good evening, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. I just wanted to welcome our members, our Chai members, our visitors. I'm speechless because this is an amazing evening here at this synagogue. Usually at this time of the year we have lots of visitors from every place, people we don't know, and we do have a couple from North Carolina, and I welcome you. But we do have a lot of visitors here tonight, but they are all part of people's families. And I think that that is amazing. We have people's children, we have people's relatives, people's friends, but also the most astonishing guests, or not guests, most astonishing visitors who are actually members of the congregation. Mark and Marianne Blazer. I mean, I am just overwhelmed with joy to see you. I know we all are because we have been praying for you, Marianne. And to see you here and to see all of you here, Mark and your children, is just amazing because as the rabbi said, and I'm not wishing you all a Happy New Year because the rabbi did it beautifully, but she talked about us as being a family, and we are a family. And when I said hello to her and I didn't recognize her with her mask on, and then she took the mask off, oh my goodness. I said, I didn't know you were here, and she said, I said, thank you for coming to synagogue, and she said, this synagogue is like home. And I think a lot of us who have been members here for a long time and who have families, and even those of you who are new and who are connecting with us, feel like this place is home. So I just wanted to welcome all of you and wish you all good things and tell you that you have created for me just a joyous feeling and a joyous evening, and I hope that you share it with me as you get to say hello to everyone at the Oneg. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. Thank you. We are going to conclude our service with Adon Olam on page 625 in our prayer books. 625. I'm just not sure which melody you chose to do tonight. Perfect. as I want to invite you to join us at the Oneg for and celebrating the birthdays and being together, I just thought one small prayer because my president just put me a little bit more in the mood of the family and talking how blessed we are, and that help us all to be patient with one another, because to be family sometimes it's difficult, but it's rewarding, and this is what this family is about. And as I look at the future for all of us, may we all be able to reflect on the past and remember the lessons from the previous years that we were taught. And may God always give us the strength and the guidance, and may we all be able to release our grudges, our anger, our pain, for these are nothing but just binding chains. And let us live each day in the most loving ways that one can be. And let us always remember that יברכך אדוני וישמרך, יאר אדוניו פניו אליך ויחונקה, יישא אדוניו פניו אליך וישים לך שלום. May God always shine his face upon you. May God always be gracious to all of us. And may we always live knowing that God will show us the peace and God is within us. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you.